Hey, I'm sorry. Hang on. My brain is fried. I was like in the middle of like this long ass video. So give me a minute to like try and recover. Whew. Okay, so hey everyone. Today is Friday. Friday being the day of the weekly roundup. And I'm happy to wait, let me put this up there. I'm happy to say that it is the 12th weekly roundup. We've had 12 of these already. I think that's cool. I know that's a weekly thing, but it feels like I don't know, a milestone or something like that, just having these. So I do want to um say, oh wait, I forgot my mic. Hang on. Oh, there we go. So I have a fun discussion we can have. I have some kind of like hardware nostalgia woes that I can go through, and also some channel updates. And then of course we always end every weekly roundup with a review of the past streams of the week. So, with not much going on screen right now, I do want to start off with a more fun conversation because I feel like we don't have enough of those. And I do want to say that occasionally I think I'm just trying to evolve as like a creator and try and include new ideas. So this is one of them. So I would like to know everyone's gaming hot takes, and I've got my own to share. Again, just a fun discussion, not really to be taken all that too seriously, but like just really just something that as a gamer that you have been looking at this whole time, and either you thought that it was just a ridiculous idea, something about the gaming market that you just sort of confuses you, something contradictory that you just have to point out, maybe an opinion that you're gonna be the only one on that hill. You know what I mean? That's the kind of stuff I'm looking for. So, I guess to start off with, I'll share I'll share my gaming hot take and try and talk about it as much as I can. So, basically just talking to myself here. So, here's the thing. When I play video games, I fully understand that making a video game takes a lot of work. Even like smaller games, to take to me an amount of time that I just don't have the power to donate into something like that. Even though I've written a book and I'm currently doing other projects, there's still like a point where it's like I'm 2 hours in the thing and I'm done. Hey, Green, welcome to the stream. Okay, so hang on. I gotta move you over here. I seriously gotta get the chat like their own box or something like that. I keep forgetting. All right, so like I was saying, I'm the kind of player that likes to look at like everything. I look at everything. That's why I like point and clicks, because point and clicks kind of reward you for that. Most other games don't. And now I'm not talking about like when you take the unbeaten path and you get like a treasure box that has like a high potion on it or something. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is that when, say, you're playing a game and you see like the advertising on a billboard, you see the front of a cereal box, you see like a company logo on a box of cigarettes or something like that. You see things like that, and I feel like there are a lot of games being made that the action or the gameplay segments are so fast paced that the player just never really give the time to actually look at those things. Like if you if you go and play Devil May Cry 5 right now, it's a lot like this. If you go and play the remake to Resident Evil 3, some of the stuff that's actually a joke, you kind of miss out because you're so entwined with like playing the gameplay and being pushed along. I feel like a lot of games, they don't necessarily let you play the game in the sense that you have control of what's going on inside the digital space. It's more like you're having temporary control over a movie. And I feel like a lot of these games are like this, where they push you along the narrative, they push you along the game's events, and with like an occasional boss fight or puzzle. I like to see the details that the game developers have taken such a long time to do, and they don't have to. You literally do not have to. With the way games are natively, that you could just have a hallway, point A, point B, and that's it. That could be a whole game. You really don't have to do all that stuff. But that's not my take. My take being is this: when developers make a say an open world or something like that, or they make a gaming space that's so wide, so vast, so detailed that you could really just spend a good amount of your gameplay hours just looking at all the things, but they give you a fast travel. As you see on the screen, I think to an extent, there's kind of an exaggeration. I think to an extent, fast travel in a game kind of ruins it. Because here's the thing. Humans are the kind of creature where you're gonna pick the easiest thing because just out of sheer efficiency. It's not a shameful thing. I'm not trying to call anyone out. I'm just saying that if you're playing Skyrim and you're in Morthal and you need to get your ass over to like Whiterun, you're not gonna walk all that way. You're going to skip out on the entire world that the game developers had created just for you to play on, and you're going to fast travel. The thing is, too, about that game in particular, and some games, is that they give you fast travel immediately. It's not a thing you can unlock. It's not a reward that you're given. It's like, as soon as you leave, I haven't played Skyrim in a while, so all the names are leaving me, but you get what I mean. Like, say, Fallout 4, you leave the vault, you can immediately fast travel. You can fast travel in place. As ridiculous as that sounds, I've done it before. It's hilarious. And I feel like to an extent that the game developers, when they have like this mechanic, they don't have to put that other stuff in there. Like, I shouldn't have to play a game and try and make myself try to enjoy the game that they painstakingly made. Again, kind of an exaggeration, because I'm not patting myself on the back or anything like that. I do. I actually do like looking at all the things. If you watch all my other gameplay videos on the channel, which I highly implore you to do, give me a like and subscribe while you're at it. Yeah, you can see that there's a lot of interesting details. Actually, now that I'm talking about it, I probably should have gotten some pictures to explain my points of view, but really just look at any game and you'll see. Of course, I think there's a number of games too where it's like the backgrounds are so generic that there's nothing to look at. But for a good amount of the games that are probably like say the most popular, or like the games that um have like a cult following or something, you can, there's stuff to look at. There's stuff to look at. And I think when you include a fast travel mechanic, especially right out of the gate, no spell, no item, no adventure you have to do, no special companion that'll help you do it, no mythical firebird that flies you everywhere. You can just do it right out of the gate. It ruins the game. Especially since that there's a good number of gamers that really care about immersion. I feel like Fast travel, it ruins that. I guarantee you, pick a game and just look at the stuff. Pick a game. Like I said, Resident Evil 3 Remake, just look. I know that the game is full of zombies for your action hero to like destroy and stuff, but just like the downtime, some of that, and you're in the streets, just look at the stuff. Especially like in the cutscenes. Like there's this one chalkboard where what's his name? Brad tries to save you over at the bar. You can see like there's a little advertising thing of like Morgan from Darkstalkers on there. And I guarantee like if you didn't have a fast eye, you probably would not have seen it. There's a number of these all over gaming. Especially if you're playing games like sandbox games, like the most popular being Grand Theft Auto. I've never played a Grand Theft Auto game, so this is coming from someone who just sort of lightly seen the series. It looks to me something like that. I can imagine there being a lot of advertising, or I can imagine like newspaper fronts or something like that that the normal player would just straight up miss. Maybe some funny stuff too. The idea being is that, again, with my opinion on this thing, hey, maybe welcome to the stream. Glad you stopped by. Well, my opinion about this thing is that when you're fast traveling all over a game space, you miss that stuff. You miss the funny billboards. You miss the little like there could be like a can of soup that has a print that's actually a cameo to something else, and you never know because you're so busy trying to make your gameplay so efficient. Just trying to complete the game. You go from point A to point B, over back to point C, back to point A. Although, in the other side of the argument, I can say that there's a lot of games that have big areas, and there's a lot of games that have big areas with nothing in it. And I've seen those too. So it's kind of hard to argue in that point. Because it's not to say that neither exists nor supersedes the first one or the latter. I'm just saying fast travel kind of, I don't know, negates the stuff that the developers had put in, like the actual game world, and you're just zooping around like you're Superman. Whew, I'm sorry. I'm a little. It's a little hot in here, and I just got done watching this long ass video that I didn't even complete. The craziest thing I've ever seen. My brain's a little fried. Anyway, so what are your gaming hot takes? Feel free to share them in the comments, and we'll talk about them. I always try and do this with my community, or people who just pass by. Just know that I am completely fine with just random drop-ins. Hell, if you want to jump in here today and drop like the most disgusting take on a game and just disappear, fine, do it. I dare you. The reason I brought this up was because there was a nope, not that one. Oh my god. Nope, not that one either. Yay. Screwing things up with red. Okay. I saw this post over on my other social, and I found it funny. And it was a very similar cut. It was a very similar conversation. And that's what I probably won't show it on the screen because I don't want to do that. I gotta find it. Okay, yeah, so I found the post. Apparently the question was again was that the person has seen too many good video game opinions, which I'm not sure what's a good or bad opinion on this. They're just simply opinions. But the question was like, what was a terrible one? And that was mine. Really, because that the idea was that I'm actually talking against a mechanic in a video game that's supposed to make the gamer's gameplay easier. And let me see if I can find some. Let's find some other ones on here. And of course, everyone's always, you can always share your own. Give me a gaming opinion. I'm reading these. I haven't gone quiet because I'm waiting for something. I am just looking at stuff. No, using upscalers is not a bad opinion. No, I actually have a bunch of words for that, actually. A bunch of words. Using upscalers like DLSS is a terrible practice that's been plaguing games for like a little bit now. Really because of the whole AI boom. All the companies just want to like just have the game generate itself. And we kind of already had that. Isn't that what a roguelike is? But the one they say like, oh, it's graphics that generate itself, and it just uses way too much processing power. Now, I come with that opinion as someone whose machine kind of has issue with like larger, unoptimized games, but I've also seen this opinion shared with, I assume, gamers with way more advanced machines, and they're having issues with it. So, if like the supercomputers are having issue playing, say, I don't know, give me Space Marine 2 or something like that, then there's a problem. Let me see if I can find another one. Oh, okay. I like this one. I'm not gonna call them out or anything like that, but I'm just gonna give like a summary. So the thing about some games having really obtuse or like just weird titles in the first place are just in it's confusing, and it confuses me. Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting, Persona 5, Persona 5 Royal, Persona 5 Strikers. Hell, I could probably throw in Guilty Gear as like, no, Guilty Gear is not the king of this. Guilty Gear does have weird shit. Guilty Gear has like Guilty Gear Double X Accent Core Plus R, Guilty Gear slash, and it's actually like a pound sign. It gets crazier. But I think anything made by Type Moon, anything made by Type Moon, their naming conventions aren't as decorative. I would say they're just crazy in the first place. Like, what the hell does Fate Atraxia even mean? What does that even mean? No, you ever seen the game titles where they have to use R or slash on it? It reminds me back in a time where using an X on something just automatically made it cooler. It didn't mean anything. It was just like, it was just cooler. Like the original name for Rurouni Kenshin. I don't want to say original name. That's probably the wrong word. An alternative name for Rurouni Kenshin was Samurai X. Not because it's the sequel to anything. It just sounded cool. So I kind of see that. A lot of these are crazy. Sooner or later, we're gonna have like Street Fighter 10 Hyper Turbo Championship Collector's Edition plus X or some shit. I don't know. Something like that. Let me see. Oh, okay. So here's one that might get some ruffle some I don't know, bother some people. There's one on here that says that the Doom 2016 soundtrack was actually bad. Um, Here's the thing about video game music, right? I don't think it's a bad take at all. I think that's fine. That's merely more of just self opinion or something like that. But I just want to say, video game music is really meant just to convey like the action that's going on, and just having something that is just blaring in your ears, getting you to move, getting you to shoot stuff, making the blood boil as you know you're blasting demons and sending them screaming back to hell. That's kind of what that's for. Like you know, you go in like a sad part in like an RPG, and it plays sad sounding music. It's that kind of thing. I think subjectively good soundtracks are probably, I don't know. I've heard bad, but I'm actually kind of a weirdo when it comes to this case, as I kind of turn the music off sometimes. When I play the games on stream, I leave them on. So, you know, everyone can have like the same experience and such, but I have absolutely no issue just turning the music off. Some games it actually gets in the way. Like you're trying to listen to an important plot point and you have the music blaring in the background so loud it goes over what the characters are saying. I see this in a lot of movies too. Like they're trying to be thrilling and the actors are talking like this very dramatically. They're trying to get you a plot point and you hear like this huge orchestra in the background just overwaving whatever the hell they're trying to say, and you miss out. You're like, okay, I don't care anymore. That's what I'm like. I'm like, I don't care anymore. Let me see if I can find some more. You agree with that? I wish there was no music in games. Yeah, it's just I guess this is kind of like Red's take number two. Music in games. Yeah, I don't know. It just some like especially like some games I just enjoy them better, or that they're trying to give you a particular feeling, and like a visceral feeling, and the music kind of ruins it, you know? Like playing a horror game, turn the background music off. If it doesn't, turn off everything else, because there's a lot of games, especially like the retro ones, where the music was also responsible for like cutscenes or character voices or something like that. So you kind of have to leave it on, but there's a point where it's like you turn the music off, the game's scarier. Silent Hill, I'm looking at. I'm talking about Silent Hill. Silent Hill, Fatal Frame. Uh, Dang, there was one with this guy in a boat. Anyway, yeah, there's just turn the music off. That's why I like Shadow Tower so much. Shadow Tower and Shadow Tower Abyss. It's just the games don't even have music. Well, that's not true. Shadow Tower 1 kind of has music, but it's so light you can literally forget about it. The games are so I really like it. I really like that I can hear things moving. I really like the sensory um I don't know how to say. The ability just to hear other things. Sure, it's a video game, so you can't necessarily, I don't know, sniff or touch things or anything like that, but just being able to walk around in a dungeon and you hear something, it immediately makes you stop. Alien Isolation was a lot like this too, but it kind of played with it a little bit. But the general gameplay was like that. If there was like no music and you had to listen out for the alien or like the robot guys, Robs or something, I forgot. It's really cool. I really enjoy doing that. Let me see if I can find another one. Expedition 33 and Blueprints were boring. I do have an opinion about this. It's not about those games, but about the gaming market. Here's the thing. When you find a game, don't watch YouTubers play it. If you see, like, I think I'm pretty much shared on this channel or maybe in my other social, but I'll explain it here. The more you tell me about a thing, the more you commercialize it to me, the less I like it and the less I'm interested in it. I don't know if that's a thing with everyone. Maybe I'm just a weird fox, but that's how it is to me. And when I was listening about like the newest hype game, there's like all these YouTubers that were like probably being paid to say that the game was decent or something like that. Like, oh, this guy looked like the Edward Cullen dude. Oh, whatever. I'm not interested. Like, what else about the game? Is it a video game at all? Or was it just or did you just put it together in a computer? Two complete different things. I've legit not played games that I've heard that I've seen in commercials. Like I see like 4 commercials as my max, and I'm no longer interested. I used to like playing Souls games. I don't anymore. I mean, I guess no, I'm not gonna go there. Anyways, Souls games and Souls likes, and I've never played Sekiro. I didn't have to. Everyone else was playing Sekiro and would not shut up about it. I lost interest. That's just how I am. Let me know if that's how everyone else like too. Again, feel free to drop an opinion and we'll talk about it. Let me see if I can find some other ones. Skyrim is awful. Okay, no, that's a great take. Hang on. Here's the thing about Skyrim. It is a bad game, but that's why everyone likes it. At least, that's my opinion of it. I like Skyrim, but I can tell you that it's not the best game ever made. Skyrim has a couple things. It has exploration, it has simple gameplay, and it's stupid. That's why it's being played. And also that Bethesda for the longest time was just re-releasing Skyrim on everything. There's a PC version. You can buy it on the Switch. You can get it on the PS4. You can get it on the I think you can get it on the PS3. You can get it on anything. I think I'm even seeing a joke, not joke, of where you could get Skyrim on like one of those fridge computer things. Excuse me, Apple made. Yeah. So that's why a lot of people like Skyrim. That and the modding community. Really what makes Skyrim and Fallout 4 alive is really its mods. Playing the raw game itself is kind of a whiplash. That you really know just how bad the games are and how terrible the plot is. But it's the other stuff. Like, you don't even have to clear the main quest. Like, when I first played Skyrim, I didn't even beat the main quest until like 2 years later. I was doing all the other side stuff. That's Skyrim. Yeah. I also want to add one day commercialize a game years ahead of time and then you forget about when it comes out. Yeah, that happens too. I don't even know why they do it. I don't even know why they do it. Like, they put an announcement for a game, and then it's like, oh, you're gonna have to wait for this game potentially to like, I'm just making it up, 2030 or something. Then why talk about it? Why even bring it up? Did it get you more sales? You're not even putting the game on sale. What? You know, funny enough, I bring up Elder Scrolls, and like that's literally Elder Scrolls 6. They put up the title, and they're like, we're working on it, and that's it. I think that was like a year and a half ago. I think that was a year and a half ago. You also have to like really like the game to like keep an eye on it. in like any game updates or something, like, you have to like really like it to like wanna see how it's going. I'm like that with Atlas. Now there's no real time of when Atlas is gonna get released, and the guy is still doing everything on his own. And he does like these big packs when there is an update. But if I didn't like the game, I probably would have just forgotten about it. Like if I played like the once and just dropped it, never went back, I probably would have just forgot about it. Early access games have this weird thing where here, okay, so Red's gaming hot take number 3. Early access is legit a demo you pay for. You could have just put out a demo. Just saying. What's dumb too is that there are companies out there that they release the early access in like a cheaper price or like a fraction of the price of what the full game is, and you'll still have to pay for the full game price when the full game does come out. And I think that's just crap. Hey, it's Spade. Welcome to the stream. Let me see if I can find another one on here while being as vague as possible. Let me see. No, I'm not doing that one. That one's legit bad, and I'm just gonna move on. And like I said, if you have a gaming hot take on your own, feel free to share it. We're gonna do this is gonna be a whole segment. I wish I had something better to put on the screen than like, well, my face. Elden Ring's the worst FromSoft Souls game? No, I disagree. Dark Souls 3 is. Move on. I'm just putting a chopping block. Nah, you're just objectively wrong. Oh, this one is great. No, I was watching another YouTuber streamer talk about this kind of thing. So, it, not to try and copy like their kind of thing, because I'm gonna touch upon it lightly. There's like this sort of like modern sentiment over Sonic 06, and I don't understand it. There's like this I don't know, there's this weird thing where players are like looking at Sonic 06 and like, this ain't that bad. This ain't that bad. I don't know what everyone's complaining about. I'm pretty sure anyone who says that probably did not play the game. Sonic 06 was bad. If we want to be like super opinionated about this, I think Sonic 06 is like the worst Sonic game. I don't care what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be Adventure 3. I don't care. It was just a bad game. Let me see if I can find more stuff. I'm trying to find some more ones here. See, I don't like these ones where like they want to say that there was a particular time of when gaming peaked because I kind of have another opinion about that. I think that sort of comment is really just fueled by nostalgia. Because I'm gonna tell you straight, there are some of the games I like. I can probably tell you that they're bad games, and I could probably give you reasons why. Like I just went over Skyrim. Skyrim is a bad game, but I love Skyrim. I don't play it very often anymore, but that's because I delved like 4 years into the thing. I don't want to play it no more. And I think that's okay. I think you should be able to just admit that something you like is objectively bad compared to like what is more, I don't know how to say, more gooder than the rest of the things. I'm not sure what you would use for that. Like you would use sales, you would use reception, you would use something, or just basic game mechanics in the first place. Like if I'm gonna give my an example, right? We were just talking about Souls likes. So I think Souls 3 is like the worst Souls like or of like any of the games. All of them. Now, if you compare Souls 3 to Souls 2, here's the thing. I feel Souls 2 was more of a mechanical advancement of what Dark Souls 1 was giving us over to what Dark Souls 3 was giving us, as Dark Souls 3 felt more like a reversion of what Dark Souls 2 had given us. I feel the same way for Devil May Cry to an extent. I feel like Devil May Cry 2, for some reason, being the black sheep of the series, and I don't know why people are not saying that 5 is now, because 5 had an atrocious story. Again, I still like the game. Saying as a Devil May Cry 5, as a Devil May Cry fan, 5 story blew. It was the most DeviantArt thing I've ever seen. And again, we just brought up Sonic 06. And that's saying something. In Dark Souls, like Dark Souls 1, there was a very rigid system. You had your sword, you had your shield, and they only did those things. Sure, you can argue like, oh, there was magic, oh, there was faith spells. It's the same kind of idea. There was a sort of like rigidity to like how you can arm your character. Now, Dark Souls 2, on the other hand, when that came out, they took everything Dark Souls 1 had and basically doubled it. Hell, when I first played Dark Souls 2 and I found out I could dual wield, I was dual wielding all the things. Dual wielding's great. And I didn't have it where, like in the previous games, where if you had a weapon in your left hand, the only thing it could do is block or do a regular attack. No, Dark Souls 2, you had this cool thing where the weapon in your left hand had almost as much versatility as the one in your right, depending on what you had. You could still do a light attack and a heavy attack. And that was something. It gave you so much more freedom with your moveset. You could have 2 different weapons, and you were just unpredictable as all hell. You could dual wield shields. And people were saying, like, oh yeah, you can do it as an Elden Ring. Now, when they made, like, that's just a smidgen of what it is. They're just a smidgen. Lore wise, I think Dark Souls 2 is actually, like, what messed up the entire thing. And then, Dark Souls 3, which is it's a self-admittingly hodgepodge of everything. So, when they came out with Dark Souls 3, they took that sweet ass dual wielding mechanic, they stripped it from you. You went right back to Dark Souls 1, but what they did was that they gave weapons like these super duper fancy, flippy, action movie, Donnie Yen style special moves that you could do. And I don't know, it just reverted the gameplay to me. Honestly, I think it's like the most unfair game, and it is. It's the most unfair game. But my original comment being was that when someone says like, "Oh, gaming peaked such ago," or like at a specific time, I think it's more nostalgia than anything. Again, someone liking a game is more of a subjective matter. You can think something is good while another person thinks it's complete trash, and that's just the thing. But when you try and look at it like objectively, there was just some titles that you couldn't do a lot in, and some others you could do a lot in, or just did things better. Let me see if I can find another one. Exclusives have always been anti-consumer. They allow and in fact incentivize companies to release mediocre, overpriced hardware, safe in the knowledge that the software they hold hostage will force people to buy it. I think there should be a bit more about this. While I agree, I think they're not touching upon some other stuff. Exclusives? Yes. Nintendo has been doing this kind of thing forever, which is why I think it's funny that Sony, like a bit ago, got like chastised over this kind of thing, and it was for the wrong reason. Nintendo's been doing this for years. Really, if it wasn't for like your favorite Nintendo franchise being only on a Nintendo system, you would not bother getting a Nintendo system. You could just stick with your thing and just play, I don't know, say Legend of Zelda, whatever on there. I like to go on bonus thing with that. Collector's boxes are not the same anymore. In fact, when I look back, they haven't really changed. Some of them are a little bit some of them are actually kind of cool. Some of the ones are just generic. Like you get like a music CD, an art book, and the game, and you get like some box. Okay, what else? I paid like 120 for this thing. Is that all I get? Like, yeah, that's all you get. Congratulations, you pre-ordered a 120 $120 box for the game, an art book that you probably could have Googled, and a music CD that you could just wait a year, go on YouTube, and listen to it for free. Absolutely. Let me see. Oh, wait, I like this one. Wait, I have to read this out. I like this one. Okay. Console and PC RPGs are not role-playing games. If your character can only do what's being written or choose from a predefined options, that's not playing a role. It's following a script. I love that. It is so literal, it's funny. You know what? I agree. 100% I agree with that. It's just in the It's just in the name, ain't it? Okay, so here's the thing about that. It is still a role-playing game because in a meta sense, you picked up the game and you're playing as the main character. So it's still a role-playing game. It's not about you trying to like design a character and have them live life on that world, or it's not you trying to self-insert yourself into another world. I agree with that. If you spend $200-300, you should be able to get at least a full-size act figure of the game. Hell yeah. Yo, $300. Yeah. You definitely should. Like, make it worth it. Make getting that collector's box worth it. Make the wait worth it. And stop with the exclusives. Just release something on everything. You're I don't understand that thing. Like I said, Nintendo's the only one that can get away with it. Role playing. Oh my god, I'm not gonna stop laughing at that. I'm not trying to be rude or anything like that. It's just it just made me laugh. Let me see if I can find another one. Da 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 da. Like I said, feel free to input your own opinion on here, and we'll talk about it. I'll probably give this like another, say, 5 minutes before I move on. No, I'm not finding any good ones. I keep running into like certain game names, and it just frustrates me so much. Like, I keep running into Chrono Trigger. I've never played Chrono Trigger. It's like on a list of games that everyone seems to love, and I don't see why. I even went out of my way to try and look up a walkthrough of Chrono Trigger because I like to research my games before I get into them. Most of the time. And Chrono Trigger does not look that great. I don't understand it. What's the big idea? It just looks like Dragon Quest Lite. Or Dragon Quest that's actually trying to take itself seriously. That's what it looks like to me. Too much horror in video games, but also it's an inherently comedic medium, and it's also impossible to make serious works on it. I can see that. I can almost see that. I think horror games have a really weird thing where it's like horror games only work the first time around, maybe the second or third, but subsequent playthroughs of the thing, you're kind of like node yourself to it with like exposure therapy, like I was talking to yesterday, like I was talking about yesterday. And you kind of used to it. You start playing like a bunch from them too. You start to see the same thing over and over and over again, and it's not scary. It being kind of comedic, it kind of is. In a weird, dark way, some of it kind of is, you know? Some of it is. Some of it is. Okay, so I think I spent enough time on this. I think we're just gonna move on. Let me see. Some other stuff I want to talk about. I want to get into the channel update maybe a little later, but I do want to talk about some things about the games that appear on the channel, and probably from here on. So I try very hard to make my channel not really within like a specific niche or something. Although I keep reading that I really should, but really I kind of just want to be in a spot where you could come in here and you can see a retro game, meaning a game from like a past generation to me, or an indie game to me, meaning that a game not made by a, I'm sorry, big studio or something. That's what that means to me. And I'll try and highlight them and maybe show off some retro games that maybe I played, was interested in, and try and give them a new light. Honestly, that sounds very ambitious for a guy with only like over 180 subscribers. which I appreciate, don't get me wrong. But it does sound highly ambitious. And I think my journey with trying to curate the channel in this way, but also try to give more stuff off is that I'm facing a sort of like technological block, a hardware block, should I say? Because I don't want to keep using emulators. I know I can. I just don't want to. I want to play these games, especially since that I have a capture card now. I want to play these games off the hardware, the native hardware itself. One, because I think that's cool. And two, maybe it'll just show of a smidgen of what that game looked like on its native hardware. Now, with the games on the PS1 or games on the PS2, we have like these super advanced displays that we watch everything through, so it inherently looks better than it did. But you know, I'm trying. And the hardware block for me is really just trying to find just the stuff to play it on. I need to get myself a new PS2. I need to get something that'll help me stream the PS3 so I can finally finish my Sly Cooper game playthroughs, because that's still happening. It's going to be a while. I'm just trying to find games to just keep playing before I get to there. And I have like some PS1 games I want to show off. And, you know, that's it. Maybe not like quite do whole playthroughs of. Of course, I leave that to everyone watching. You know, just let me know if you want me to keep doing that. But merely with... we're kind of bleeding into like a channel update kind of thing. Here's the thing. I'm running out of games to play. Not because that there's none. There's thousands. There's thousands of games for me to play. The issue is that there's games running out that I'm interested in playing as, and there's also, like I said, that block of the hardware. So I think and I usually have like a schedule, so I think from here on, I think I'm going to take some of the days and just play them by ear, not really with a schedule. I'm still going to play the games that I have on there. Like, I'm playing right now Moses and Play-Doh. I started Broken Sword. I may not continue it, but we'll see next week. And Digimon Time Stranger. What else am I playing? Hang on. No, not that. No, not that. Oh, that is what we're doing. Okay. But maybe, for like a bit, I'm gonna try and slow down. And I think at some point, when I finish the games that I'm working on, or maybe if I include some other games, because there's been a new Legend of Zelda remake for Ocarina of Time that was announced. The trailer's stupid, by the way. It's barely a trailer. It's like the Elder Scrolls 6 thing. They could have just flashed the title on there and people would have been happy. But it did make me think about the old game, so I have been considering playing that on the channel. Maybe once, or maybe I'll do a whole playthrough. And there's this game that was on the PS2. It's called Summoner 2. Fantastic game. Okay, I shouldn't say it's fantastic, because barring from my rhetoric about Skyrim, it has its problems. It's a good game, but it has its problems. So I've been thinking about doing that. The issue is that, again, going ping-ponging back, there's a hardware issue. And if I really, really have to, I'll re-download an emulator just so I can play that. Which would be stupid, because if I do like one video for like one day and I'll just delete it again, it's just, why did I even bother? I might as well just not. It would have to be something that I'll have to do like I had to dedicate a whole playthrough to. But I think at a point where if I do finish the games that I'm on, or games that I may include in the future because I'm interested in them, I think there's going to be a break on the channel. Not a very long one or anything like that. It just needs stuff to happen in the gaming world so I can continue going. Let me see, what else can I talk about, because I kind of just did like 2 birds, 1 stone kind of thing. And I'm also trying to make these streams a little longer. Because I'm trying to give the algorithm gods the time to actually see me and put me on like people's front page or like the recommendeds or something like that. Which, by the way, the recommended in my videos are the craziest stuff. I'm not sure if they're supposed to be like related, but they don't look it. Anyway, let me see if I can. Yeah, so I guess that's about it. That's about it for like the update and for like what's taken so long with, again, playing Sly 4 and maybe fulfilling some things I said in earlier streams. I'm going to try. I'm going to try and fill out some of the days, but I think at some point I'm going to have to start dropping days. So, I guess now we could probably go right into the actual meat of the weekly roundup, where we take a time to look back on the streams of the week and we review them and talk about them, and maybe I'll share some behind the scenes stuff. So we always go chronologically. Oh, hang on, let me turn down the audio so I'm not talking over myself, which makes no sense because it's my own voice. I don't understand. So again, starting chronologically, we are going to start on what I played last Monday, and it was Zid Journey. And I looked it up. It's written that way. That's really what it's called. That's really what the game is called. Anyway. So as you know, as everyone has probably seen my channel already, knows that I like point and clicks. And this one makes me feel a special kind of nostalgia. Like, I'm not sure there's a word for like when you remember the feeling of something, but you can't exactly like pinpoint it to a thing. Maybe someone just lost their egg. I don't want to call it deja vu or anything like that, but it evokes similar feelings, and it makes me think back on when I felt them last. And this game is like that. I've been playing point and clicks with especially Moses and Plato, with like very mature things and very mature themes. Or at least don't remember. Oh, okay. And this game is just the opposite of that. This game is not serious at all. It's very lighthearted. And it's just, I don't know. I don't want to call it casual, because that's kind of like a derogatory term in the gaming world, I suppose. But it's very easy, you know? Excuse me. I don't really expect a point and click to be hardcore or anything like that. I don't know. It's a very easy game just to play. Now, I'm not sure if I'm the demographic for like these developers. Probably not. I don't think so. Most likely, there's like a 95% chance that I'm not the kind of person that they kind of expected to play the game. I see. Okay. Well, I won't bother you anymore then. Good. Jeez. But the game, this Zid Journey is really nice, and they're still working on it. This is actually not the first time I've played this demo. Before I started streaming, I've actually played this game before. Well, the demo. And it's the exact same demo. Demo. How many times can I say it? And I still liked it then, and I still like it now. This is one of those games that, in Red's like theoretical mind bins of games I play for myself and games I play for my channel, this one kind of sits somewhere in the middle. You know, like, I'm not sure if I'll do a whole ass playthrough on this, or I might just keep it to myself. Just wanted to say, if you have a problem with this egg, why not show it to Macrobius? Of course, I'm always open for suggestions. Maybe he can shed some light. You know, everyone now or maybe later can just, you know, listen to me yapper on and just be like, hey, yeah, no, I want to see a whole playthrough. I want to see you voice a tiny cartoon dinosaur. You know, actually, I've always wanted to try voice acting. I think I have a decent shot. Maybe not in the roles that I wish I would be in, but you know, hey, yeah, take it where you get, right? He was very enthusiastic. Oh, I'm sorry. Discuss the details with me today. Let me see if I can advance a little bit. I think I did have an issue with maybe the dialogue was a bit too long. Just a little too long, especially with the segment where you're talking to like the doctor here. It kind of takes a while. Like you could just, I don't know. I don't want to say anything because I'm not a game developer yet. I'm going to someday. But it just, I don't know. I feel like you could have just sped this on. What do you mean? Quite a coincidence too. But this game really does remind me. It takes me back to trying to play like those old games on like Windows, I don't know, Windows XP, something like that. AOL. And it makes me think of like those games like the Carmen Sandiego or like those other kind of point and clicks that they were supposed to be like educational. It makes me think about these a lot. Not that it reminds me of those games, it reminds me of that time. And I think that's probably a way more accurate way of putting it. Of course, the puzzling in this game is not, you know, it's not that difficult. Because it looks like cattails to me. And I think that's okay. The game doesn't have to be like super complicated. I'm not looking for a hardcore point and click game. There's a shiny pebble. There's this. So it's like it's very light. What's this little patch of vegetation doing on this desolate cliff? Oh, geez, the kid has quite a. And there's really not much else to say about the game. Just a large rock. Over at the end, they gave you like this sort of sneak peek into the future of the game, and I'm kind of looking forward to it. I want to see what happens. I'm somewhat invested in our buddy dinosaur adventure. I'm kind of wondering what happened there. Someone took a piss down the stairs or something. I think that guy like pissed on the slope or something. Unlock additional content as you travel, like a Dinopedia entries or bonus materials. So, moving on to the next day. Next day is Tuesday, where I have dedicated playing Moses and Plato, Last Train to Clover on here. And I don't know, man. I've got to say, this game is taking a turn that I didn't think it was going to go. And I don't want to say that I'm disappointed, but I want to say that I'm surprised, but in a bad way. Is that a cigarette carton with brushes in it? I am unpleasantly surprised. Is that a thing? While I enjoy the banter between our two heroes here, which again, I think they're better than the Chicken Police. I find that the angle of the game is slowly getting sillier. Like, look, I can imagine like a sort of takeaway gag, you know, just to lighten the mood a little bit, and I understand that, you know? I get that. But there's points where the game is now straight up trying to put things in its story that I did not see ahead of time. Dressing up Plato was awesome. Now that I'm thinking about it, this should have been a short. In the background of playing this game, I actually had to turn the mic off like a bunch of times because for some reason my mic is having like this weird thing where it's picking up noises that I don't even hear, and it's making my character on screen, like little me there, react, and I don't understand why. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. For some reason I'm tired. How about this? I enjoyed this. I think this was fun. Maybe? Yeah? If we could put something on top of it, yeah. Yeah, we're getting
I
we're
think
getting
I
somewhere.
think this was
Wait, can
fun.
I put that a bit? No? How about this? Oh! Perfection. We're freaking geniuses. Okay, let's
I
see. What else
Again,
can we
though,
do?
I am going to argue that my version of the
Let's go
plan would have
shoulder
been
thing.
way
I
superior.
like the
It would have been
intimate
hilarious just to
alluring
have like a
photo op or
Weekends of
something.
Bernie's
And hey,
sort
what
of
do you know?
thing where they're trying to
The work
carry
of
the body of
genius
Ignat and just trying to pretend he's alive.
was this.
Although then again,
Plunger.
now knowing that she knew the entire time and was just dicking with the detectives,
Look,
which I
look.
think is kind of a like metagame sense.
What
I think
is
that kind of
this?
sucks as the
Wait,
player. Like for me, I think
they
that's
have like
stupid.
N's on them. Okay.
Like you did
Hang on.
like this whole
Bam.
trouble of actually doing
Okay,
this
we're
kind
almost
of
there.
thing because
We
you're
got
doing
this.
just what the game
Now
tells you to
it's
do, you know,
easy.
which I have a problem with in the first place.
Oh,
And just
look at
for
this.
like the whole ruse to just
Identical.
not be successful in the first place.
The
It's like an
spitting
unbeatable
image.
boss fight. You know, it's not rewarding. It detracts. Is there an opposite of rewarding?
We're geniuses. They just said maybe
Taxing?
not our thing. Maybe we should enter fast.
I'm gonna go with that.
Ignat? Is that really you? What happened to
And
you?
Well,
I don't have a live cam because the world's vision of me is this Foxman. But I can tell you that there was a lot of eye rolling and there was a lot of like
Your voice sounds awful.
face palms and like very tired expressions trying to go through Latuna's interrogation,
As I said,
which we aced, by the way.
some time ago. We were both young. Ignat was a highly ambitious soldier. At that time, he was just a corpse.
I do like how
I was
they made her character
You know, land
like
animals were
this
always
really weird
like
sense of that she believes every word she says,
to each other.
even when she's wrong. And there's like some sort of like this weird confidence that comes from it.
Devonian forces
And it made interrogating her kind of weird, where it made me double think a couple things.
he was ordered home.
And you haven't seen each other since?
I know it's kind of like dumb to profile a video game character like that, but I kind of get into like these kind of things.
Ignat never missed a month. His letters arrived on time for almost
It's just some of the
1 year.
stuff that I kind of argued on her on was just factually wrong.
Alright, wait a minute.
Just factually wrong. And then at the
So,
end of this, I didn't get the reward of her waking up to see the monster that Ignat was. What I got was, oh, why don't I just do a seance and we'll just ask his ghost? And I'm like, are you serious? Again, I'm farming like the superpower with this game where I am straight out just calling things. I'm pretty sure I said at some point when I was interrogating her, I'm like, what, you gonna do a seance? And they're like, oh, let's hold a seance. I'm like, oh my god. Oh my god.
I can't believe that.
It has like this whole kind of humor to it
This game is so crazy.
that you like,
Okay.
you know, it's like this whole kind of humor. You know, you're watching a movie, it's like, let me guess. That's the love interest, right? And then you're right. And you're just like you're just sitting on the sofa watching this movie, just rolling your eyes like, oh god. Let me guess. They have family issues. One family member is like totally super weird, has no time for the rest of it. So it's not about Godzilla. It's about these three Nimrods trying to accept that the world as it is, and there's a giant fucking lizard trying to kill everyone.
Say so. And who will be the 3 lucky ones we
I'm sorry,
pick
I ranted
for
there.
the seance?
Someone who has seen a ghost.
So needless to say, I did not like the modern Godzilla films.
Obvious.
Monster vs. Godzilla. No, I'm good. Thanks.
Perhaps Mujara Sapar, or rather his pretty assistant.
We wanted to talk to her.
I don't want to get into it. I just had an idea of getting into a conversation about Godzilla movies, and I don't want to do that here.
That
We're not
woman
doing
is
that.
Innocent as a bunny rabbit.
Until, according to like what Cassidy had mentioned, that she channels her inner beast of Keanu Banog. innocence really hangs on there.
Something in me wants to, though. Like, I want to fulfill another hour just filling everyone. Just info dump on Godzilla movies. I will drop this take, though. Godzilla 2000 is not that bad a film.
Yeah.
And I actually like that Godzilla design. There.
You can go wherever you want. But Artemisia, dear sister, don't go.
So the next time we oh, and another thing about this game that is weird is that every time I do something, like before this stream, I had solved the another puzzle box. This game has this weird thing where it won't save when you do something. It only saves at like another point. And I began this stream solving the box again, which isn't a hard puzzle, and I remembered how to do it. But it was just still kind of frustrating. Because I don't know in the future, I'm going to do something big and be like, okay, this is a good time to stop the stream. And then when I turn it back on, I have to do it again. Luckily, I have these videos on YouTube, so I can always just reference back to them. But I can imagine from a player who doesn't do what I do and just playing this game by themselves, you know, and they can't remember what they did. You know, I can imagine like that first puzzle box being a whole pain in the ass. And that's why I kind of stopped here when I did, because for some reason finishing the interrogation with Latuna didn't save the game. Finishing the conversation with the Baron did. And I don't understand that. I don't understand the logic there. They should have just gave me like an ability to hard save. Hard saving would have been better. Let me see. Another thing I can... Okay. So, moving on to tomorrow's game. No, not tomorrow's. Oh my god. The next day's game is that I started playing Broken Sword, The Shadow of the Templars. This is one of those games that I mentioned earlier that this is my first time actually playing the game, and this is actually like a like remaster or something. But I've actually seen a whole playthrough of this game before, like a while ago. So some of this stuff is still a mystery to me. Like I forgot like the little stuff, but I kind of get the gist of it.
I'm thinking, who was the animation studio that did like the Iron Giants
And while I enjoy the game, I can see why YouTube didn't.
Atlantis or The Road to El Dorado, that kind of stuff.
I can completely see it. I completely see why they didn't.
And I kind of miss this, to be honest. Oh man, that cursor is slow as hell. Wait, can I fix that? Can I fix the cursor? Because it needs to be faster.
Yeah, I gotta move on. Because here's the problem I'm having with this game. And like, I think with my current game lineup too, is that I'm playing these games where a lot of like my stream, nothing really happens. Or nothing really noteworthy happens. Like, I know if I'm happy whenever I solve a thing. Or whenever I get like a key item to work somewhere where it's not supposed to. Or I solve an interrogation. Like in the last game, you know, where I got 5 stars on my first try. That makes me happy, but that doesn't make YouTube happy. It doesn't make viewers happy.
You never know what you find. It could be all sorts of stuff.
And while a good amount of streaming on any platform is really just doing it for yourself, and I'm doing it for myself, I still feel like there's this sort of like work reward kind of fluctuation where you're doing more than what you're getting. But anyway, that's that we talked about something like that earlier. My point being is that with these games, there's nothing I could turn into a short. Absolutely nothing.
Kitty, wait. Oh well. Did we do something with that?
But the game itself is fine. I'm okay with it. I really like the art style. It's very reminiscent of like old Disney. Or like when Disney was making like those side movies. And I was really into that. I call it Don Bluth era, but I know that's wrong. But I'm just trying to evoke the idea of like this sort of other kind of art style, Western art style, that was prominent with animation for like a good while. Before we got what we have now.
You know the waitress at the cafe? So you don't want to hear about my experiences in the desert? I thought to make this country what it is today.
I find the telephone sequences like this, some meta red logic, I find them really cringy. I don't know why, I just do. I look at this, I'm like, you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to do the split screen. You could have just have him on the phone and had the conversation going. Especially since like nothing happens here. So it's like, eh.
Puppy dog, waiting for the sound of his master's voice. Maybe they don't have a dog. What do you think? I don't know, Planta. I never heard of Planta. None of this has anything to do with me.
So, and this game in particular, I'm not sure if I'm going to continue playing on the channel. I might give it one more go,
Hello? Who is this?
and then we'll see where it happens.
George Stobart again. What now? I found out the name of the guy I'm looking for. Is that so? Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to wrap up with talking about yesterday. Digimon story, Time Stranger.
Indication. But it's not much.
Here's the thing. I'm trying very hard not to make this like my playthrough for Dragon Quest VIII.
So I don't know.
Which I'm not going
how
back to, by the way.
It's how the.
I'm trying really hard. Because I'm trying to actively, like, farm in this game and get my mons stronger. So that the next time I show the game off, you know, we can just do better against the conflicts and actually, I feel, actually play the game.
And the thing is that I think that's
Also, I did want to note that I am doing this thing with the thumbnail. I'm not sure if anyone has noticed, because no one's really brought it up, but I'm doing this thing with the thumbnail where my Digimon team, as they Digivolve, I'm changing the thumbnail. Hang on, let me see if I can bring it up really quick. Name this one. Getting things on OBS done like this is a huge pain in the butt. Boop. And we go here. Find this one. Okay. And then we do this one. We'll call this 2 for now. Okay. So I guess kind of like a sneak peek. Oh. Wait. I gotta pull this down. Hang on. I'm under here somewhere. Nope, that's the mic. Okay. Whew. Oh, you know what? I probably should have put it back up. Dang. I hate when I do this. Okay, so my point being was that this is the thumbnail that I used on that stream. And then I have this one, which is huge for some reason. There we go. So that's probably going to be the thing throughout the whole playthrough, because I do plan on finishing Time Stranger, and it's going to take a while. So yeah, look out for that. But back on the game. I still have the same feelings about playing the game that I have like the entire time I've been playing it. I feel like now it's starting to open up. Now we're actually doing like video game stuff. And in the background, I could say that I think when I put the game on stream, something happens when I have OBS running at the same time. Is that the game gets super laggy. Not necessarily on my end, but when I rewatch the stream, I can see it. I know how to fix it, I just didn't want to. But I think I'm gonna have to make some visual adjustments so the game can run smoother, because I think a game running smoother than looking better is a bigger difference than the other way around. No. It's okay with water. Let's try holy. Going up the tower for collecting the Hagurumons, or little cog guys, that was fun. You know what I hope that doesn't happen? We got to do something else but running around in a circle. Don't steal experience. Now I can see on a screen that everyone gets like some. We got to do something else. But I'm thinking about like, and it took a good while. I was actually planning to make that particular stream like a little longer than usual. And the game just kind of like lend itself to it. And they were like, next stream might, I'm gonna try and aim for like a similar time, or again, just so you know the algorithm gods can actually see me. A joke, by the way. There's no actual gods. I've heard that, but when I played it, unless you're talking about like the multi-billionaires that run everything. Anyways. They were just at a high enough level to match. Next one is gonna start a little slow because I have been digivolving them. So I got my Renamon Setsuna to champion level. And I also got Celine, my Lunamon, up to champion level as well. So now my whole team are champion levels. But I'm not gonna be able to get them into ultimate until I get agent level number 5, which I don't know how long that's gonna take. But the thing about the leveling loop in these games is that when you start digivolving your Digimon, there's a thing where it's actually a good idea to revert that and to go back and forth with it. The reason being is that it levels up this thing called a talent, and then talent helps your Digimon inflate their numbers, Disgaea style. And it makes them super strong at lower levels. So then when you get to higher levels, and it raises the level cap, by the way, not all Digimon can level up to 99. Some can only go like to say 24. So doing this is actually very helpful. It takes an amount of time to do. Even in the previous games, because in the previous games there was a trick where you can do like these experience boosters, you got platinum Sukemons, and it would like speed up the leveling process so much faster. But that's like end game stuff, and I imagine this game having that as well. And since it's still relatively in the early game, hell, basically just started, I'm kind of a long way off from having something like that going. But I'm gonna try. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do some yeah, I definitely gotta get this kid more moves. As for their Digivolution route, I think I might change it up a little, because I've been doing some research. So I definitely gotta do, because I know I said I wanted to take them down their canon routes, but I think I might switch that up a bit, because my main plan was to get Buddy, my Agumon, through the original Greymon line. So eventually I would have ended at War Greymon. But I did some looking, and there's this one called Blitz Greymon that I want to see. I'm still going to keep Setsuna and Celine, my Renamon and Lunamon, along the similar path, so they're not changing. My Devimon is going to make some changes. I'm trying to go for Plutomon because I saw it and I think that's cool and edgy as hell. And I made the sad discovery that Zanzamon is not in the game. Or at least available for Kotemon. But there is another one. And that's where I'm going with. Gaiomon or something like that.
Wait, that's not what I wanted to do. Yeesh.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. As far as the plot's going, it's having the same kind of beats. I wonder when the story is actually going to drop. You know, where it starts to get a little more serious. But again, seeing this, it's not the kind of serious that I kind of think. It's more like, oh, the world's ending, everyone's sad, and all of a sudden, you have to be the hero to prep everyone up, even though, you know, you're considered a weirdo. You know, you're doing all the footwork.
Buddy's beefed up.
This boss fight took forever.
Smack.
Like, I started like around 110, and I finished it at like
Oh my god.
135. It's nearly a 40-minute boss fight. That's the problem I'm having with this game. It shouldn't take me 40 minutes to get through a boss fight like this. Really, it's coming from like the fact that when I played the demo, I leveled up my Digimon so much that I was beating the demo like super freaking quick. So I just assumed I can carry that strength over into like the full game.
Yeah, I kind of thought so.
But I haven't. The game is just being replete with like inflated HP, and like it has like these event triggers that have to happen before you actually beat the challenge.
We better do something. Let's focus our attacks on those feathers.
Although I gotta say, Lunamon getting Myceline, getting the last hit is hilarious.
That we're able to beat its healing.
Because he just ends the boss with a little bubble.
Oh, we know what to do here. This might actually end it.
I want to key in like JoJo Part 2 music on here. And then it dies.
The little bubble.
Okay, for some reason, actually, her stats are actually incredibly high for a rookie. Not anymore, because I got her on champion.
That's the face of victory.
Just comparatively compared to everyone else, because I think I had everyone else when I played the demo. Anyways, just for somehow my Lunamon is like super buff for some reason. Also, no, I do not take any of this seriously. Everyone is wearing the stupid outfit.
We can't hear you.
Everyone is wearing these.
Do you copy?
I'm trying to move on.
To sum things up, the Digimon world is facing a civil
Exploring the little house was kind of
war. I strongly suspect
interesting, not interesting. I feel like there's not much to look at. Although, again, as I said earlier, I like looking at like the background. This is just me in action. I'm not just observing stuff and just clicking it just to see if I can get free stuff. I'm actually trying to look at the thing.
HP capsule 1. Okay. What's this?
Because I really like this. I don't want to sound weird or anything, but I like this Mesoamerican kind of like outlook on the inside of it.
Possibly for humanoid Digimon.
Also, I think that was a very stupid statement. Those are just dishes.
You know, those are just regular ass dishes, man. You don't have to.
Don't hit me with digi dishes, because look, some of these guys don't even have fingers. The forks and stuff,
They're just
no,
regular ass dishes.
that wouldn't work. And no dedicated coffee pot. What's with these developers not having coffee pot? Coffee's important.
Well, I guess you could
Hang on.
work one of these, right? I guess you can sort of make.
Oh god, it's over there.
I guess,
Anyways, I have a coffee cup right next to me.
not like the girls' living quarters though. They have like absolutely no means of making coffee. This is Aegiamon's hammock. It feels strangely nostalgic.
So yeah, I'm gonna fiddle around with the visual, so I can give like the streams like the best that I can give for it. And next time we're gonna have some super powered up mons.
Yeah, I get it, because we were on a hammock for like a while, kind of whatever. What's on TV? TV with a retro design. The antenna is cute.
So okay, I think we've been going on a little longer than usual, and I think I kind of feel comfortable here, kind of ending it, because really, I'm out of things to talk about. I tried. And so I guess with this, we're just going to wrap up the 12th weekly roundup, which these are my favorite days. Granted, these are my favorite days of the whole week. It's just being able to sit here, not having to play a game, and just talk. I'll try and do more of like these fun little conversations. Like today I was trying to do gaming hot takes or just opinions. That's really what it is. It's just sharing your opinion about something. And given everyone, I guess, that watches like channel updates and how the channel is going to do, and yeah, I guess just also just sharing my mind on kind of things, because I kind of have the spotlight here, but I don't mind sharing. So I guess with that, we're going to wrap up today and the stream week. I'm going to give my send off and the stream, and then I will see everyone on Monday maybe. I think if I can't find anything to do on Monday, I'm just going to skip Monday. But I'll let everyone know the day ahead of time. I am thinking about playing Legend of Zelda. Maybe that's what I'll do. Who knows? So, here we go. Hey, I'm Red, the Gray Fox. I stream here on YouTube Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the content I put out. It helps me know that, you actually enjoy it. And it assists me in being seen by the greater algorithm gods. And we get to spread the influence a little. There's not much else to say. I kind of screwed up my outro like a while ago. So I'm just trying to do this by ear now. The weekly schedule is, again, Monday's kind of a mystery. If I do play something on Monday, I might hook up my Switch and maybe we'll make a stream out of Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, because you can play it on like their you can play it on the Switch. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe not the whole game, because Legend of Zelda takes a while. Or maybe, who knows? Tuesday, of course, is going to be Moses and Plato, Last Train to Clawville. We're going to go through that stupid seance thing. And Wednesday, I'm going to give Broken Sword another go. We're going to go with a part 2. Followed by the next day, playing more Digimon Story Time Stranger. And then, of course, like every Friday, the weekly roundup, where we do the same thing as we did today. So thank you all so much for watching. Thank you everyone that joined in, participated in the stream. Thank you to everyone who joined in, didn't participate in the stream. And thank you to everyone who kind of peeked into the stream, dipped their toes in the water, decided it was too hot and left. I hope you all have a good night or a good morning, wherever you are.